Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys had a better weekend than your boy. Yeah, I'm still sick, still fighting this son of a bitch, but I'm fighting the good fight. That's what matters. That's what I do. Rain, sleet, or snow, flu, COVID-19, whatever the hell, I'm here. That is right. I am still alive and kicking. I'm telling you. Like Thursday, Friday night, your boy thought he was a goner. I was laying in that bed just like, oh, God, give me something for the pain and let me die. It was brutal. It's like the flu and COVID decided to, like, I don't know, invade my body at the same time. No, I did not test positive for COVID. It just felt that way. I've had COVID before, and I remember that feeling. It was horrible. So I think I'm at the tail end of this thing. So you guys know this week, don't expect a ton of content. No Arkansas basketball this week. And it's Christmas, so obviously the content will not be, there just won't be as much. Maybe there'll be YouTube short. Maybe I drop an edited video or something. But I should say don't expect, unless there's some huge breaking news, don't expect any more live content. I need to take it easy anyways, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about this tonight because, my God. Ryan Silverfield is getting just no respect. And it goes back to what we were talking about with basketball, right? What did we say about Coach Cal and this basketball team? Like they have to really, really earn it. No matter the talent, no matter what they had coming back from a year ago, no matter the fact that you got Cal, yeah, all cameras are on Cal. Everyone nationally loved talking. They love talking about Cal. His team has just really had to earn the respect. And you know what? They're still ranked. The AP, I think, kept them in the top, they're 18th. Is that right? So, but for football, it's a completely different story. And you understand why everyone looks at this job a certain way, and you can also understand why they maybe look at Silverfield a certain way. He didn't exactly end the year at Memphis they won how many games again? When a lot of people thought this was a 10 or 11 win Memphis team. They didn't do that. And I kind of understand where some of these people are coming from. And we're gonna get into it in just a second. But he was shit on by ESPN today. I mean, they took a dump on Ryan Silverfield, all right? And yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into that in just a second. Brian Arnold works with the $20 super chat. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Make sure you guys like, share, please. Sharing is caring. That is the ultimate. Listen, YouTube's up to its old antics again because I will not turn on AdSense revenue during these live streams. They are hitting me again. I can tell you right now, I've got 2 other YouTube accounts on my phone. Neither one of them got a single notification that this live is up. My wife, she has an account. She rarely gets notifications lately. There for a while, it was doing a pretty good job. Now it's not. So we're up against it once again. You know, YouTube, they're just some sons of bitches. That's all I can say about it. You know, and yeah, it'll pop up on your feed if you scroll down, but the actual push notification, they're not coming through. So yeah, sharing is the only way that stays on top, that we get it. Listen, we're already a small independent channel, right? I mean, we're already up against it. I don't post content every day. I don't have a team of people, right? It is just a sick-ass Ty trying to do this, and YouTube's up to their old shenanigans again. So, yeah. So that means being as active, interacting with the chat, hitting the like button and sharing, all that stuff really helps. So, yeah. The flu and COVID had a baby, says Malik Akov. That is the freaking truth, man. I've never felt this crappy for this long before. I mean, I really don't remember ever being like this. DJ, oh man, 5783. Again, the font is just too small for me to try and make out. Just my thoughts. This is a new legendary status member, by the way. Shout out to him. Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon, legendary status. Just my thoughts personally. I think it was a pretty good hire. Honestly, I do my research and I have seen more than others. Just my opinion. Yeah. Well, listen, you know. Well, hang on, because I've got some thoughts on this ESPN article. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best. Hundreds, no, 1,000+ 5-star reviews. Thank you very much. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. That's if your garage door is, the springs are messed up, the door's not working properly, whatever the case may be. You need a new door you need to be priced for a new door. Man, they'll come out that day and do an estimate for you, right? If you need I shouldn't say instant repair, but if you need emergency repair, they offer it 24/7, 365 days a year. Yeah. There's not very many of them doing that, especially down in Central Arkansas. So give Travis Ford and the boys a phone call. Give them a call. Again, 501-244-3667. I will have the link provided for you down below after the show. All right, what are we talking about, Ty? What's got you so upset? Well, ESPN. Now, I thought this was me and the flu going at it. When I read this, I thought my brain, it's been taken over by the flu mind virus. There's no way in hell Bill Connolly at 7:30 this morning Eastern time on ESPN, he ranked every single FBS hire. And my God, this guy doesn't think very highly of Ryan Silverfield. Now, again, I think, and this can be shown, we know this historically, that how you did at your previous job in terms of like that last season, when we talk about upward trending, and I know that was something I harped about. Like it was something that Silverfield, he was on a downward trend. But thinking about it and looking at some of the other coaches, sometimes that just doesn't mean jack shit. It doesn't matter. Chad Morris was on an upward swing, and I forgot. I don't know what I was thinking when we were doing this, when Silverfield was hired. It left my mind until someone pointed out when I mentioned on a live show after they hired Silverfield, I said, God, but he's on a downward trend. He underperformed this year. When he's got like the top, when you talk about NIL compared to the rest of that conference, they're a borderline P4 school and they have similar resources. And he won, and he's doing this at Memphis, not this. Okay, well, Chad Morris was going up at SMU. I think literally it was like, 3 wins, 5 wins, 7 wins in his 3 years at SMU? Very good resources then, not quite like what they are now. Obviously, NIL is, you can now just do whatever you want. Hell, they could do the Pony Express all over again if they wanted to. And it would be legal. Wouldn't have to buy. Well, I mean, I guess you could buy a kid a Trans Am. I don't know. Right? He bought it through his NIL money. But that doesn't matter, right? That's not the thing that should matter. ESPN kind of, I don't know. You guys tell me. They rank him behind, and I get it. Some of these hires, like, okay, whatever. I don't know much about Mike Jacobs. They ranked him ahead at 14th overall. Now, again, this is one through how many hires total? I looked at this earlier. It was 30. Was it 31? No, 30. 30 total hires. And and he put Pat Fitzgerald at 30th at Michigan State. I would not put that dead last among all the hires. I just wouldn't. I think Pat Fitzgerald might actually – I'm not saying he's going to go win 10, 11 games next year, guys, but I think that's actually – that hire makes sense for Michigan State. He puts Ryan Silverfield at 24th. He put Jason Candle at UConn ahead of him and Ryan Beard at Coastal Carolina just behind him. We know the Petrino connection there. Ryan Silverfield at 24th. Here's what he says. He's talking about he's talking about Jason Candle while he's talking about Silverfield. He says, like Candle, Silverfield was able to build an excellent base of talent and score some big wins over teams such as Arkansas, Florida State, West Virginia, Iowa State, and Mississippi State. But that made the letdown losses that followed, like a ghastly defeat against UAB this season, even more disappointing. Silverfield is clearly solid, but he won't have many athleticism advantages in the SEC. I mean, while that's fair, it's not like it was harsh criticism. And by the way, that's a grade of that's a B higher. The problem is he puts like 20 people under that grade, including Jamarcus Shepard at Oregon State. Brian Hartline, golly, that's a name I kind of forgot about for a minute. So let me read this criteria, okay? I'm going to scroll up and read the entire criteria here. After completing a perfect coaching pedigree, hold on. Let's see. He played for Bill Walsh, Tom Osborne, and Bill Belichick, coached for Frank. Let's see, and going unbeaten. Okay, this is a rant at the beginning because I saw this and thought, here we go. This was the part that I read. We don't know who will be rewarded for their moves, and we know we're going to be wrong with about half of our opinions. But let's grade this year's hires based purely on the logic at hand. I'm honestly a pretty easy grader. I just need to understand and probably agree with the thought process. Therefore, a higher ranking into the 20s might still land a pretty good grade. But in theory, the higher the grade, the more likely the hire will succeed. Okay, then why even bother ranking them, right? And here's the thing, because this is disrespect. I don't know how else a fan is supposed to read into this. I don't care that you give them. Hell, you could give everybody an A hire. You could say these are all A hires, man. I love them all. Yeah, but you're barely top 30 on my list because I put numbers next to the names. Like, you could have not put the numbers next to the damn names. So what you're saying is the grades mean absolutely jack shit. Or I just think they're all good hires, and I don't know. I don't know how else. What was funny about this is someone sent this to me, and they were like, I know you're going to rage about that. I know you're pissed about this because I know how you are about the, just the disrespect, the university already gets. And I want to be, so it wasn't my idea to actually make this the point of the show tonight until I read that little bit and I was kind of reading in on some of these names. And I just thought, Neil Brown at North Texas is a better hire. So again, not all jobs are alike. And not all jobs should be viewed. And by the way, just because you didn't hire a James Franklin or Lane Kiffin, who he gives as the number one and number two hires, because of course, what this tells me is these are just names. You're just basing this. Now he puts Eric Morris at Oklahoma State at third. I think that actually I don't have a problem with him being somewhere in the top 8. I really don't. You could put him third as long as you don't put him in front of Kiffin and Franklin. That's fine. I don't know that I would necessarily put him in front of John Summerall, but he puts Jim Mora at Colorado State at 5th. And he says CSU sure seemed to make a logical hire in Jay Norvell 4 years ago, but the former Nevada coach could never generate traction. Sorry, there's that damn letter switching around on me. And now the Rams are on an extended run of dreadful play. So, anyways, going on and on. Sometimes you just think that, like, someone writes an article like this and they want to make that they want to put that name in there somewhere that's going to get the clicks. And I think putting Silverfield, because they know how active Arkansas fans, it may not be the largest state in the damn union, but my God, are Arkansas fans active on these websites? You know that this had to be a troll job. And I'm sure Ole Miss fans aren't happy about Pete Golding being 15th. I actually think that makes perfect sense, but I would probably put him a little higher. I think that's probably, I don't know that he's going to be successful, but, you know, going back to not all jobs are alike, not all coaches are alike, and just because you're not a big name, why does that make it a not great hire? The only thing you can hold against Silverfield, there's two things you can put against Silverfield, and that's why the one little paragraph you give Arkansas, it just doesn't, to put Arkansas that low or to put him that low, you need more than one damn paragraph, man. I mean, Arkansas was one of the biggest jobs open most of the season. Until Franklin out at Penn State, until LSU and Florida, it was one of the biggest job openings. I feel like you owe them at least another paragraph. And what you could have said, sir, at ESPN, yeah, Silverfield was he's never been an SEC coach. Yeah, that NFL background is great. And what he said to Courtney Mims, and I'm not saying he should post this in his article, but what he said to Mims was great. It is, I've taken a lot of his interviews in as a lot of coach speak. I mean, I'm just going to be real. It is a lot of coach speak, but he is saying the necessary things. He is saying exactly what, like, you would want him to say for the most part. But okay, no SEC head coaching experience. That is a big, that's an issue for a lot of people that I've talked with that have talked about this hire, whether that be media or just some diehard OG fans. One of the things they say, and these are older people, they say the same thing. I really don't like that he hasn't coached in the SEC. And history tells us, you know, that's kind of a problem. When you go back to Chad Morris, you go back to Brett Bielema, like not having any SEC experience whatsoever has not really worked out for Arkansas. And then the other thing being the downward trend, you probably could have focused in on that more. The fact that he's only been a head coach at a higher level, not really a higher level, G5 level, but, you know, for 6 years, he doesn't have like a decade or more of experience of being a head coach at multiple jobs. There's probably 3 or 4 things you could go in on Silverfield, and they don't do any of that. Here's why I've sat here and I'm shitting on this article because I don't understand why you even bothered to rank them and also give them a grade without more context. And I get that that's 30 people, and that would have taken him probably weeks and weeks and weeks. What do you know? It's almost like they should have, I don't know, waited until after the damn portals closed at least before you publish this. But here's what I think about Silverfield and why I probably would put him somewhere in the top 12, maybe even top 10 of coaching hires. But the problem is I don't know in great detail these other coaches. I don't, and I don't know their circumstances. But here's what we do like about Silverfield. The guy just wins. He's won. He's won at Memphis. Yeah, they've got great resources. Well, it's not like they're the only group of 5 school to have resources. He's got winning records against these other hot shot coaches. What's his record against Golish again? What's his record against Morris? What's his record against Campbell, who just went to Penn State? What's his record against Lashley, the golden child of Springdale, Arkansas? What's his record against these coaches again? Oh, yeah, he's beaten them. Oh, well, you know, they were in the midst of doing this and that. I don't give a shit. You don't give us that kind of, that you know, that leeway. We're not going to give you that leeway. The hell with that. He's beaten those guys. What's the other thing? Oh, I know. He's a damn salesman. And this is why it goes back to not all coaches and jobs are the same. Just because you're not an A-plus hire for Penn State doesn't mean you're not an A-plus hire or a B-plus hire for Arkansas. He's a salesman. And what does Arkansas need more than anything right now? We've talked about this the last several weeks. They need a go-getter. They need someone that's going to, ignite the fans. And when you ignite the fans, believe it or not, like we've said before, major boosters and donors are what? They are fans. When you can ignite the fan base, create some excitement, damn, it's like, that's exactly what Arkansas needs. Penn State doesn't need that. What did they do last year? Well, they were pretty damn good last year, weren't they? You could argue maybe Florida needs that, but Florida, they're going to be fine, right? As far as I'm sure NIL, they're going to get that shit figured out. It's the Florida Gators. Arkansas needed this guy. So this is why I hate these stupid-ass polls. I hate these coaching hire polls. I hate them. They don't make any sense. They try to rank them. And then I get it. We all grade, and I don't have a problem with really grading them. But again, you cannot grade all these coaches as if they are the same. I'm getting tagged. Don't tell me I've been muted this whole time. Okay, thank God. I just about had a heart attack. I was like, I've been going on for like 10, 15 minutes. Hog Blitz tagged me in Discord, and he says, Ty, the article is stupid. At the very worst, it is top 10. I think you can make an argument that it's top 5. Listen, again, I don't care about the rank. To me, the grading is fine. I'm fine with the grading. I just think you should wait until after the portal. Now, we might all be eating our words. And I don't know how much it's so difficult to put blame on anybody except Hunter if they can't get the finances and if they can't get everything in order to go crush the portal. Then you are going to look silly while we're sitting here saying Silverfield. I'm sitting here saying he's all these things. At the same time, we know there's hypothetical dollars. Well, some of those hypothetical dollars turned out to be real. Here's the other really positive thing. Maybe the most of all these hires, he did one of the most explosive things. Now, I did research on some of these names. I don't know that all these guys did this. Silverfield flipped 4-star prospects within 24 hours of being hired at Arkansas. You guys know this. But for the 9 or 10 of you who aren't Hog fans and you're in here wondering what this fat, sick guy's talking about, that's what we're talking about. Silverfield has already lit such a fire under the state and under these prospects. He's got guys flipping. I'm loving what I'm hearing about the kind of the plans for high school recruiting. I shouldn't say plans, just what it sounds like they're doing. We've also seen them offer. They've thrown out some offers the last several days. We're going to have to get into that sometime, probably within the next week or two. But it seems to me like they are headed in the direction that we all want them to do, or they're the direction we want them to head in. But again, 24, dude. I mean, this is a smear. This is as if, like, I don't know, everyone's out to get Silverfield. I mean, that's absurd. I know that's not the case. I wonder if part of this was clickbait, though. I mean, I really don't. I really do. I don't know what the hell else you're supposed to look at this and be like, this is fine. Silverfield was there are 23 better hires. Can you honestly, even if you don't like the Silverfield hire, can you honestly tell me there are all 23 of these guys, Hartline, Jason Candle, Jamarcus Shepard might actually be a pretty good hire. I just don't know if that's going to be a good fit at Oregon State. Neil Brown at North Texas. I mean, some of these guys you had to Google. Billy Napier at James Madison was a better hire, and that actually I don't have a problem with. Because Napier he's a group of 5 coach. That's what he is, and he's probably going to go right back to being, like Hugh Freeze should have stayed group of 5. He just should have. That's where he kind of belongs. He's just not an SEC coach anymore. It passed him by. I don't know that Billy Napier ever was an SEC coach. I'm not going to get mad at it. Kirby Moore at Washington State. I don't know. Again, some of these names, and just because you don't know who they are, like, look, there's so many names. Jimmy Rogers at Iowa State. Rogers went 27-3 in FCS and with an FCS title in 2 seasons at South Dakota State. And although he inherited a brilliantly crafted culture in Brookings. He went to Washington State last season and immediately put together an exciting team there too, built around defense. The Cougars nearly beat Ole Miss. Virginia nearly beat these teams. I don't know, man. Golish, they put at 12th. I'm shocked by that. I really thought they're going to put Golish. When I saw the article and I was scrolling down, I thought Golish would be top 4. I really did. They put Charles Huff in front of him. Bob Chesney at UCLA. Chesney I like, and it's not like I don't like some of these guys. Will Stein at Kentucky? Bro, that might be a really good hire, actually. In Kentucky, believe it or not, what state are they just south of? And they've had some success recruiting their own state and just north of them. They've got talent around them. They're kind of in that little threshold area where they should be able to recruit pretty well. I'm not saying it's Texas or the swamp or anything like that, but excuse me. What are we reading here? Okay. Let's go back to chat here really quick. Let me read chat. I'm sick of 7-5 being good enough, says excited and banished. Oh, exiled. I'm sorry. What's up, Angel? How you doing? I'm still banned from your page. Oh, man. That makes me a sad panda. Otis, wait, what? Otis does be whipping that nose and acting like Edgar? What are y'all talking about? What am I reading right now? If he ends up going 7-5 next season with how tough next season is, that's a good season, says Kicks. Well, again, Silverfield is striving to be great, and that's something else, man. Like, he's striving to be great and to do it now. He's not promising playoffs or national title, but he wants to get this thing going now. if you're going to be vague like that, why would you rank? And they give what's his nuts at Michigan State, Pat Fitzgerald, like 5 damn paragraphs. Like, they go in, they put him dead last. I thought there were more. I thought there were 32 jobs. Is it just 30? They have 30 down. They give him a whole half the page talking about, I didn't read all of it, but you guys are ESPN. An editor let this slip out. I mean, I'm just saying, like, someone had to, like, smack him upside the head and be like, bro, what are you doing? Don't bother with the numbers. If you want to do grades, that's fine. And then you got to give more. You got to do some explaining with some of these P4s. So that's a B is what he gives Arkansas. So it's like, it's a weird thing. It's like, I don't have a problem with the B. I have a problem with the damn number. The Ole Miss fans, I know, are not happy about Golding at 15th. They're going to tell you he's the second coming of football Jesus. Fishman of the $5 super chat. We have every right to feel extremely disrespected from this article. We're with you, Ty. Woo pig, let's go. I know I wasn't the only one because, I mean, like I said, I'm in this group chat, and they're like, this is ridiculous. And they're egging me on like, Ty, we know you're sick. You got to do this, though. We know you're sick, Ty, but do it. We want, because we are pissed. This is bullshit. And it was like everyone in that chat. And I kept reading it, and they were just getting me all fired up. And I was like, no, yeah, we're doing it now, bro. We're doing it. We're not putting up with this. We're not going to take it. Phil, what's up, Big 870? How you doing, brother? Let them hate and underestimate us. We love being the underdogs. Well, again, this is more this is more about the coach, not necessarily the school, but I think you could argue it's both. I'll say it again. Not all hires are the same. Not all jobs are the same. Ty seems to be getting fatter. Oh, why did you hide that? Exiled and Banished says Ty seems to be getting fatter. I wonder if that's old James I pissed off last week. Or was that Saturday after the game when he told me I was alone? Was that James? 870 James? Was that his name? He's in here a lot. I feel like that's a burner account. At least it was kind of funny and kind of true. I am getting fatter. Mods held that one for review. You can let it go through. I don't care. He's not wrong. I've gotten fatter. Concerned about Silverfield's downward trend at Memphis. Portal pickups in spring practice will show us more of what he's putting together at Arkansas. Yeah, I don't disagree, Texan. I don't. Why do we want to be underdogs? What's up, Brim? How you doing, man? Why do we want to be underdogs? It's tiring being slept on. Ooh, he's kind of spitting some fire here. We should want to be the favorites. We should be tired of playing the loser role. That's really hard to argue with, actually. And listen, I don't think there was a hire short of getting Franklin. Obviously, Lane Kiffin. Lane burning them bridges Kiffin. No one was going to give you respect. Okay, again, Arkansas, you kind of understand. While this article was really against Silverfield, or I should say against, just disrespectful of Silverfield, it absolutely was it's a comment on the job as well. And I don't know, because I don't think they're really looking at this as fits. Outside of Eric Morris, like Eric Morris makes sense. And this is, I love that he ended up at Oklahoma State, because I think he's going to be really good at Oklahoma State. I could be wrong. It just feels like a good fit for him there. It's the Big 12, right? You could stumble around and accidentally win 9 games in that damn conference. I mean, let's just be real. Is it better since the NIL era? Yeah, it's gotten better. Texas Tech has had something to do with that. Some of the additions, even though they're not super popular teams, even in their own damn state. They're pretty decent additions to the conference. It's, it is barely a P4 conference, if you want my opinion. I don't know that we should even talk about P4 anymore. I think we ought to talk about P2. I know the ACC would like a word, but I really think it's the SEC and the Big Ten. And here's the thing. I think the SEC, I'm not saying it's getting passed up, but man, it does not have the edge that it once had over the Big Ten. It just doesn't exist. The portal has absolutely wrecked the SEC's dominance. It just has. While it's adding some really good, players, like you wouldn't have ever had a Drew Sanders at Arkansas. Xavier Sorry for a year was really good, right? Former 5-star at a high school. You wouldn't have got him for a year when he was really good. This year, I swear he was playing really hurt. You go down the list of names, but without the portal, you don't get some of those guys. That's fair enough. But like the SEC can't stockpile talent. Georgia can't stockpile. They're not 3 deep of highly ranked 5-star line of scrimmage guys, right? Like they just can't do that anymore. They're still going to have talent there, just not like they used to, where they could sit on that talent, develop it, let it sit and cook in the old development oven, and then poof, now you got the most delicious recipe and product that you could put out on the field because they had time to bake in your Georgia Bulldog oven. Now you got to you're going to have to pull a little bit from the portal here and there, and you're going to lose those guys to the Arkansas and to the, Missouris and Ole Miss and all that. I mean, look at what Ole Miss was able to do with the portal, right? So yeah, but anyways, Eric Morris is a good hire for Oklahoma State, and they're going to do well there. I still have questions about Summerall. I do. I have questions about Summerall at Florida. I'm not sold that he is like this Goliath of a great coach. I think he's going to be okay. He's probably going to end up doing better than Napier. I don't know. More to Colorado State, though. You think that's the 5th best hire? Bill Connolly, sir? The author of this? You think he's that really? I just don't know. I really think he, I don't want to get... I mean, I'm not implying the guy did a line of coke and then wrote this article. I'm not implying that whatsoever. I don't know. Sorry, ended up last year was just not good. Bobby Petrino landed his job, and I think it's a good fit at North Carolina. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. I think you look scrumptious, Pookie. Thank you, Kerber. Oh, man. Listen, the reason why, I get asked this every once in a while, like why I haven't been asked this in a while because we haven't had a lot of these comments, but I get asked this though. Like, I've had a family member ask me, like, what do you do when someone calls you fat or whatever? And I'm like, I know that person would never say that to me to my face. I know they would never do that. That's why it doesn't bother me. Now, if I knew the person, I'd probably think they're, just being, trying to be funny. But yeah, I know that person, he would never say that ever to my face. Also, listen, if it's funny, I want to read it. Ty, grades on position hires. Okay. That's tricky. Some of these guys, I know they just hired another, would they hire a quality control offensive line coach or something today? I saw that. I don't know. That's tough. Tim Cramsey, like if you want to just go like the known, like the coordinators, I think Cramsey makes sense, right? You're bringing him over. Again, we've talked about this too, right? The vernacular, the language of the offense. You're not going to have to worry about a guy coming in here and having to learn from Silverfield, where he's going to have to study a bunch of tape. You're not going to have to do that. And you already know what Silverfield expects of you. And so I think that makes sense. I'm not saying I'm in love with the hire. I don't think, I think it's fine, right? He's had some pretty good offenses over the years, pretty sustainable and consistent. I don't know much, Lunsford, I shouldn't say I don't know much. I don't know what to make of that. It's a special teams hire. No one thought Fountain would be as disastrous as that guy was. I don't care that he put some guys in the NFL and that Little's great. Cool. He had a great kicker. He helped you recruit South Georgia in that part of the country. Awesome. Sweet. How many times did you get flagged on a period of time when you needed every inch that you could get, even though you're punting the ball, you're in a position where you're maybe at your own 40 and you're going to try and pin them, and then you get hit with a time or a penalty. I mean, we've seen the special teams get flagged multiple times in so many games the time that he was here. We saw you've had to burn timeouts on multiple occasions over the years because you didn't have all your personnel out on the field. I don't understand it. And I know why Pittman kept him. Because of the recruiting advantage. The guy, again, he's in tight over there. He's a horrible special teams coach. So, is Chad Lunsford an upgrade? I would imagine so. Darren Wilson, who's, by the way, co-defensive coordinator, and he's going to coach the secondary. He had one really good year here, kind of a similar, who's in a similar position. Not as a co-D-cord, but, coaching the secondary. And then the next year was abysmal. And I don't know who you put that blame on. It's really easy to go, oh, well, that guy's not here anymore, so he was the problem. I don't know that we know that. But obviously, I don't think Ron Roberts would have brought Darren Wilson over if he thought Wilson – again, it kind of goes back to the same thing with Silverfield and Cramsey, right, on the offensive side of the ball. They know each other. They understand each other. They've worked together. You know the vernacular. You know the expectations. I think that's fine. You're going to do that. Also, yeah, they want to recruit Florida, right? So you understand why you give them the title – and Darren Wilson has quite the footprint on that side of the Mississippi. I don't mind Ron Roberts. I don't know that I could grade the position. That's tough. I don't know. Everything I know about Clint Trickett is people keep telling me Clint Trickett might actually be the better hire that we're just not paying attention to. I don't know. He's got an interesting background. I love that they kept Morgan Turner. I'm not going to grade it, but I'll say it's okay. Yeah, there's not very many guys that are blowing me away. The only hire that I really like is David Johnson. However, I can tell you, I've done a little extra research on Florida State's situation. And I had an article that I was reading earlier today. It was actually about a player that had entered the portal And what they did was they shit all over Florida State's inability to develop running backs. And how long was he at Florida State? That's this article. Well, I think it was actually talent overall, but offensive players. But they talked about they're not developing players at that position. And I'd seen some comments on Twitter from Florida State fans. Sometimes you take that as coping, though, right? Sometimes they're just coping. Arkansas fans do it too when they lose somebody. I don't know what to make of that. And it sounded to me like the article was really trying to, without saying his name, like they were trying to pin that on Norvell, not necessarily on David Johnson. But David Johnson has recruited the hell. I mean, that dude, he's recruited the hell out of that part of the country. Great running backs. That roster chock full of big-time talent in a time when Florida State has really dropped out of favor. Like there was a time when they were the S-tier program in the state of Florida, and it hasn't been that way in a while, and he had some success there. Although recruiting at Florida State, you're going to have an advantage. Florida State is pretty easy to recruit to, but saying all that to say, David Johnson, the vibe I get is that is actually an outstanding hire if you want to recruit that part of the country. I would say that the offensive side of the ball, I like the direction they're going from a recruiting standpoint. So, I don't know. I'm not going to go and grade everybody, but yeah, make sure you guys like and retweet and all that stuff. Hey, what's up, John? How you doing, Sweet Cheeks? How you doing? How you doing, Ty? I don't know if the hires are good or bad, but didn't he promise major names, or am I wrong? I don't have the exact quote up in front of me, and I know that God, Hunter Yurchek, like I said, I lost brain cells the last 4 days, especially the last 72 plus hours. I've lost brain cells, so I'm going to stumble, but what I got out of that was similar to what everyone else heard, which was that, these names, like you're going to know that we've got, because a media member, and it might have been, it wasn't Andrew Hutchinson. I don't remember who asked the question. It was someone asked, like, how do we know? How's everyone going to know that you've had the money, since you guys are not telling us specifics, since we're not getting, any more transparency on the NIL and where this money, where it's coming from and where it's going. And Hunter's response, if I remember, it was something along the lines of talking about, you'll see it like in the coaching hires. And so I took that the same way a lot of people did, which was, oh shit, they're going to bring in some huge names. Yeah, none of these guys are big names, but it sounds like one of the disadvantages Pittman had, I don't know, this would be a really good question for someone like Trey Biddy. This would be a really good question for him. I think he could probably answer this better than anybody else. I'm pretty sure like they're going to end up with a larger coaching staff in terms of numbers and guys that actually have, impressive up and coming backgrounds. And that's what they're fleshing out here. It's not that they've got, I don't know, name a big time. It's not that they've got Gene Chizik, as a defensive coordinator. It's that they've got more guys around their guys to help. And I can remember Pittman talking about this several years back, something about the numbers and the amount of coaching staff. And if you remember, Nick Saban kind of started this. And maybe I'm mixing this up, but I can remember Saban on the sidelines at Alabama in the whoever was calling the game, whether it was CBS Sports or ESPN, they would talk about the amount of coaches they had on the sidelines and the amount of coaches and the size of that staff. And so since then, it seems like, and I've noticed this over the years, like the staffs have like doubled in size over the last 15, 20 years. And maybe that's what that Hunter Yurchek was kind of alluding to, which was that, okay, yeah, you don't have the huge names. Again, you don't have the Gene Chizik, or name a top assistant somewhere, whatever, some big name. You don't have him, but he's got guys around his guys. He's actually got more bodies and more analysts, more quality control people, GAs, whatever the case may be, right? You're going to have a larger actual coaching staff size, maybe more GAs, and I know that's a different pay thing. Actually, I don't think they get paid a dime, right? But more position coaches. I think that's what we're seeing, and I don't know if that's going to help or not. Maybe it is. I don't know. And I'll tell you an interesting breakdown would also, I'd like to know how big was the salaried staff, the coaching salaried staff. Maybe we should ask AI this one night, or maybe you guys can. I'm not going to because I'm doing this. But what was the size of his staff in 2021 compared to what it was in 2025? Did it shrink and we just didn't catch it? Is that where maybe Sam was kind of hinting at and maybe Hunter was kind of alluding to? I think it's really important. You need more recruiters. I know that was something too. Like, they needed more people to recruit certain areas of the country. So I know that was a very long-winded. I hope that answered your question. I think that's what they meant. Because, as far as the names, Ron Roberts doesn't. He's probably, of all the hirings, he's probably the biggest name on this staff. And this was not a guy that was, oh my God, so successful at Florida, right? He's got an interesting background, and he's kind of a blueprint guy. Get it. But he's also, what is he, pushing 60 years old. He's been in the game for a while. That's why some people compare him to Chief. Remember, Chavis was, what age was he when he took the job? And he was this big-time hire, kind of a guy known for doing this and that, and his time at LSU. And, so I understand the comparison, but I don't know that we should do that with Ron Roberts just yet. You lost me, Ty? How did I lose you? I feel like I explained that pretty well. Okay, I'll summarize. I'll make it simple. They hired more people. I mean, there we go. I think they hired more people. I don't think they hired the big-name coach. I think they just hired more people. They have more people around people. They have more people around their assistants. There you go. Boom. Okay. I didn't think I'd have to simplify that, but all right. What about Hobby? Huh? Kyle, hold on. Put your white monster can down. What are you talking about? What about Hobby? What are you talking about? Oh shit, you're talking about the defensive line coach, Marion. Oh man, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good hire. I think it was actually a really good hire because that is the other thing that I will say that has been impressive. He is getting guys that he said he was going to get when he said, I'm going to go get guys with SEC experience and with NFL backgrounds. I read his bio after they finally put it up. I don't remember. Was that? God, my days are really they're melding together. I don't remember when I read, but I read he's got a really good NFL background. He was in the NFL, and it wasn't just like 3 or 4 years. He was in the league for almost a decade, right? I mean, I like that he is doing what he said he was going to do as far as who he's going to hire in terms of their backgrounds. Davenport had a story last year about our staff being one of the smallest in the conference. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I got to get him on here, man. He is one of my favorite people. Every time when I was at Hogville and I got to go to the games, be up in the box, I would always try to make sure to look out for him and go talk to him. He's one of my favorite people. He's good people. Read his articles, support our boy. I'm going to get him on here one of these days. If Silverfield performs very poorly, I wonder if some people will say that he used us to get him and a bunch of his buddies paid. I mean, I don't. No, I don't think that's the case. I think he just wants to hire people that he's comfortable with, right? Thanks for the elaboration. Sorry, Ty. It's okay, Jason. It's all right, buddy. I love that you love the show, man. Again, make sure you guys share the content, all right? If you got any questions, try to fire away. Like I said, this will probably be the last that you see me live, probably this week, unless we get some huge news. Chavis was washed up when Chad Morris hired him. He was, and you could see, you talk about a downward trend. His time at A&M was not great. Yeah, I mean, that is fair. Pooh Bear the Prophet. I always love reading these. The Department of Education reports Alabama spends over $100 million a year just on their football program. Arkansas hasn't spent over $20 million under Pittman, which is all on your check. Oh, okay. Every coach on the planet hires guys he's comfortable. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it was. I mean, he's hiring people that he's familiar with. No one trusted Sam. Everyone pulled resources. Hunter didn't fire him. Hunter should be let go. Well, I keep wishing Charlie Strong would become DC since he's from Arkansas and all, but nope. Yeah, that's one I've thought multiple times, like, why is he not a target? Why are they not reaching out to him? You know, what does he do now? Isn't he an analyst somewhere? Or maybe he coaches linebackers somewhere. I don't know. That was his background, if I remember right. He coached linebackers, I think. Ron Roberts is an innovator of defensive schemes. He is, Angel, and I think that's fair. That's great. I don't think it's a washed up Ron Roberts. I hope you're not getting a washed up Ron Roberts. Pretty sure Charlie's coaching with Tampa. Oh, is he with the Bucks? That sounds right. Or is he coaching? I always thought he was an NFL guy. Really quick, and we're gonna come back because we got some portal stuff we got to talk about. Arkansas versus the CPU in Arkansas basketball. Again, we're gonna turn this thing right back around to football, but I wanted to make this. I want to tell you guys, I was looking at this, trying to figure out. I didn't really have the time that I normally have to sketch out a whole show, but I think the computers have changed their mind about Arkansas winning 9 games this year in conference. I think they're at 8 now. I would love for someone to verify this for me. I went through and screenshotted what I could here. But they have Arkansas losing to Tennessee at home. And again, this is the matchup predictor, okay? And I know it's shit, blah, blah, blah. Ignore it. Fair enough. The problem is it's right now predicting Arkansas at like a 10-2 rate. Pretty sure I think it's 10-2 on how accurate it's been with Arkansas. If I'm please fact check me. Again, this was something I was looking at. They did move the needle on some of these games in terms of the percentages or chances of winning. Obviously, JMU, you're at 95.8%. Okay, of course you should be predicted to win that at a high rate. Arkansas right now, the needle has moved, even though it still favors Tennessee. It was at one point, I think, like 35% in favor of Arkansas to win. It's now at 46.7. So that's damn near. That's basically a 50-50 game. But they're giving it to Tennessee. It's 50.1 in Ole Miss's favor at home in Oxford versus Arkansas at 49.9. That's as close as 50-50. So you never see these go directly 50-50. I mean, I've never seen that. Not with Arkansas. So you're 0-2 right there in conference play. 0-3, they've got Auburn favored at home, 65%. They don't give Arkansas a win until South Carolina, which is in the middle of January, man. 82% favored to win that game. I have not watched South Carolina much this year, and that's fine. But I mean, they do not like Arkansas on the road. They don't like you at home against Tennessee, although, again, that's as close as 50-50 as you're going to get. Well, I mean, the Ole Miss game is as close as you're going to get to 50-50, but you get what I'm saying here. On the road at Georgia, I would argue this is a game you need to win. They've got Georgia favored at 65%, and I think they've been favored like since these predictors dropped. Vanderbilt is projected to walk into Fayetteville and win that game at 50. Again, it's a close 50-50. It's 54.8% over Arkansas. Arkansas's favored over LSU at home. And then Arkansas goes back on the road against Oklahoma. They give Oklahoma a 58.5% chance. They've got Kentucky walking into Bud Walton Arena and winning this game against the Hogs. Again, Arkansas's the home team. This is not at Rupp. They give, and it's a slim margin, but it's still in favor of Kentucky, 53.2%. On the road against Mississippi State, damn near 50-50, but they favor Arkansas. On the road against LSU, damn near 50-50, favor LSU. At home against Auburn. Boy, these are becoming must-wins. They're becoming must-wins. I mean, they all are, but, I mean, we know one thing. If you could start off 0-5 in conference play and still make the damn tournament and still make a Sweet 16 run and should have been a damn Elite 8 team at least, I mean, they would, I don't see them getting by. Of course, Texas Tech would have been as far as you got, but still, they got you beating Auburn at home. 73% in favor of Alabama at Alabama. They've got you favored over Mizzou, favored over A&M, back-to-back SEC wins, which would be the first time all year, according to the predictor. Florida loss, which is at Florida. Texas win, which is at Arkansas. Missouri win at Missouri, 59% in favor of the Tigers. So that's 8 wins when it was 9. I'm going to recount this. 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3. Win 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. Now, who knows when the dust settles at the end of the year, if that's enough. I don't. I mean, what do you guys think? I just wanted to run this by you. So that would be 9 more wins. That would be 9 more wins. And that puts you at 18 total wins on the year. And if my math isn't mathing, please take it, don't be too harsh on me. I'm pretty sure that's right. It puts you at 18 wins. Yeah, that's probably not gonna. That's brutal. That's tough. Arkansas last year they won 4 games on the road. They went 4-6. They were 5-4 at neutral. What's their record this year versus on neutral? It's like 1-2, man. It's not good. At home last year, they lost 4 games. Remember, they started off 0-5. I mean, it was ugly. You lost to your home opener at not home opener. I'm sorry, SEC opener at Tennessee. You lost to Ole Miss, a team you just golly, that just drives me crazy. Beard got that. Florida, and some of these were pretty close. The most embarrassing one was LSU, and if I remember right, that was one of the worst officiated games I'd ever seen. And then you lost at Missouri, so that's, let's see, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Florida, LSU, Missouri. Yeah, those are your first 5 games in the SEC. And you turn around. We started to see a little bit of a change against Georgia at home, and then you lost another game you just should have won by 3. You lost to Oklahoma, but the turnaround was in Rupp. In Lexington, Kentucky, when you beat Kentucky by 10. You controlled that game. And you did it again on the road against Texas. That turned everything around. You played Alabama and Bud Walton down to the damn wire. You got revenge against LSU. And then once again, Buzz gets you, A&M gets a win. You go to Auburn, you lose that one, would have been a huge opportunity. And then you beat a ranked Missouri team inside Bud Walton Arena, and then you sweep Texas. I mean, you know the story. I don't know what the opportunities are going to look like. I just don't think this year, I don't know that you can afford to start off 0-5 in conference play. And the crazy thing is the SEC is not as good as it was a year ago. And that's why. I don't know that the SEC is sending but about 7 teams. I think you can make the case for 8, but I don't know that you can go beyond that. And yeah, you would probably be one of those, I would imagine. I mean, you're definitely one of the top 10. Definitely one of the top 8. But I wonder, are the computers, are they right about the skepticism that we've seen on Arkansas this year? They don't have a win, a true road win versus a quality opponent. They struggled against Samford and Winthrop. Not that matters in the grand scheme of things, but just saying, the level of play. They couldn't beat Duke in Chicago at the United Center. Their best win was at Bud Walton Arena against Louisville. Tech was you could argue Tech with that win. Wow, man, was I wrong? I did not think Tech was going to beat Duke. I mean, I had no problem saying that was going to be a ball game. I didn't think they'd get by Duke. Caught some of the highlights on that. Just impressive by Texas Tech. And that helps Arkansas for sure. But, you also lost to Duke, though. But it definitely helps you more than it hurts you. But, yeah, I mean, you do have a couple of quad ones going into the season. It just depends on where the dust settles at the end of the day, come March. But you cannot, Tennessee to me is just like such a – it's your biggest game. Well, I don't know. Going to Ole Miss would be big and winning that. Going to Auburn would be big, winning that. But Tennessee's probably your biggest game until you play, I don't know, Vanderbilt, who right now, what are they, 3-0 versus quad ones? Did I read that right? Ranked really high, thought of very highly. And then you got Kentucky coming into town. I'm not saying you can't, just ignore LSU and Oklahoma. You got to win them all, right? Every single one of them are important, no doubt. Texas Tech is a great team. Well, I'm not saying they're not a great team, buddy. I'm not saying Texas Tech isn't great. Slow down. 8 wins won't get it this year, says Fish. I don't know. I guess it depends on where those 8 games come from. If you can rack up some Q1s, if you can beat, if you can beat Tennessee and get some road wins, maybe it'd be enough. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, the biggest question is what is the favoritism this year? Is there any favoritism like we've seen the last couple of years in the SEC? Like, are they going to be as good as they've been? And right now, the analytics, outside of Kentucky turning things around, Vandy playing really well, Georgia's, you got some decent records. It's unfortunate they just aren't playing a lot of good teams. But for the most part, like Florida, even Alabama to an extent, Arkansas, some of these teams, I don't know that you put Arkansas in that category actually, because you have to give them credit for those two Q1 wins. Those are good wins. Those are really high quality wins. It's just like that Michigan State game. You feel like, man, you had an opportunity right there. That would have been huge. But for the most part, Florida, Alabama, even Tennessee. Some of these teams are kind of not living up to some of the hype that they had coming into the year, and it's hurting them. I think Tennessee's behind Arkansas in the net. Are they not? No, they're right ahead. That's right. They're 26th. But right now, Arkansas, 9-3, 1-2 on a neutral floor. Boy, you'd love for that to be flipped. 0-1 in a true road game, but they are undefeated at home. Very promising considering you've already played. Louisville's a damn good team. Very, very good win. It's a good sign that maybe you could still, if you win out at home, I think it's 10 at home, 8 on the road. If you win out at home, then you're in good shape. That's it. You're right. Okay, damn, we couldn't win at Alabama or at Florida. Oh no, those are games you're not expected to win anyways. You'd like to sweep Missouri, right? But yeah, Arkansas right now, 27th in the net, just behind Tennessee. I thought that was flipped. Tech is 23rd, Kentucky 22nd, Florida and Georgia make up 20 and 21. Vanderbilt, the team that I keep being told is overrated, 3-0 on neutral floors, 3-0 on the road, and 3-0 versus quad one is 6th right now in the net ranking. Yeah, please keep telling me that I was crazy for putting them behind Arkansas when I said Arkansas. I favored Arkansas to win the SEC, not the SEC, the power poll. At that time, I put Vandy at number 2. And what they do, they've gone off and won 2 more games since I said that. So I'm just saying, I'm not the only one that thinks Vandy's actually pretty decent. We're going to reorganize the next live you see. We're gonna reorganize the power poll. In fact, I don't think we're even gonna do a power poll, or we might. We're gonna try our best to predict where everyone lands up in the SEC. We're gonna readjust like we said we would. Before the season started, we kind of got that going, and then we said we're gonna come back and revisit that after Arkansas played James Madison. So sometime next week, we're gonna try and figure out where we think the SEC ends up being. Again, I'm not saying Vanderbilt, but guys, Vanderbilt is highly thought of. and I wouldn't put them right now on my power poll. I'd probably actually slip them down a spot on my power poll, right? So I'm not all in on Vandy. I'm just saying at that time they're pretty damn good, and they went on and won 2 more games since I said that. And they're the thing that matters, it's big time for them. They're 6-0 away from outside of Nashville. 3-0 on a neutral floor, 3-0 on the road. Oh, and they're 3-0 on versus quad ones. It's pretty big. So, can they keep that going? That's going to be the question. I think they're going to run into. They've got talent, but I think they're going to hit a wall eventually once they get into the SEC. But I, don't know a ton about their schedule just yet. I'd like to sit down and I'm probably going to do that before we reorganize our favorites to win. We might not do the whole 16 teams. We might just do the top 5. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. Our biggest issue on our basketball team is challenging shots. They really need to find their defensive identity. They're just not physical on defense. They're still not physical on defense. I like some of the guards and the way they the on-ball defense is pretty good sometimes. Boy, they're getting blown by though, aren't they? I mean, straight to the rim. It seems like guys are out of place around the post. I have such a problem with how these guys play around the rim. I just have such a problem with it. You're not going to get easy dunks on them. You're not going to get as many easy putbacks. But, man, you could dribble drive right to that rim like nobody's standing there. No one's getting hands up. Nobody's trying to put a body on body, step into the lane, play a little more aggressive around the post. There's just like no one's doing it. No one's doing it. Doesn't even matter if Pringle's pissed off about whatever. Baby mama in the audience screaming at him. I don't know. He's probably got a million things going on in his life. Get mad about something, man. Or get madder. Well, my baby mama, when she's getting on my ass, I come in here and I rage. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Sarah's the reason why I was able to do any kind of post game. Sarah's the only reason, man. Like she kept the medicine flowing. She was like, you got to take this, you got to take this. She was the only reason. Shout out to my wife, man. She was awesome while I was sick. What's crazy is she was sick first, and I was trying to take care of her, and then I got sick, and she had to take care of me. And needless to say, watched some basketball. Did not watch the Rams game. Don't want to talk about it. Watched Lord of the Rings. Extended cut, of course, and just drank. What's that stuff called? Tamiflu, whatever. Oh God, tasted like death. Shout out to my wife. I don't know if she's in chat or not. Richmond is our okay. You guys are arguing. Top 8. Who's top 8? What's top 8? Pooh Bear the Prophet. 2 players not creating offense with defense. Brazil and Knox, says Angel. Yeah. Hey, Ty, is anybody else coming on? If you're talking about the coaching staff, I don't know, Brady. I'm not sure. Hey, what did you guys think of what do you think of this? Oh, my God. I love this so much. Oh, man. Match made in heaven. Oh, you just, what a hire. Oh, Billy Check, huh? What do you know? Who knew he had it in him? He went and boy, I tell you what now. Oh, God bless him. That is just, hey, man, for real, Bobby's the man, okay? He's the man. It turns out they actually did give him a bonus to become the interim, which we should have known that, right? Excuse me. But he's the man, though. I think they paid him, what was it, like $100,000 more to be the interim head coach or something. Well, that's just kind of sticking your craw if you're Pittman to a degree, right? Like they gave the guy a raise. He took your job. He went 2-10, and people still hated Pittman's ass. Listen, he's a millionaire. He's chilling. Enjoy the easy life, Pittman. Enjoy it. You took a lot of shit here. But Bobby, who ended up, one of the top 15, top 20 scoring in total offenses, in terms of yardage and points. I don't know what to expect with him and Belichick. I don't know. Well, we got to put that back up though, don't we? We just got to keep that. We're just gonna put that right there. I should probably put it over the chair. There we go. Put that over the sponsor. Who knows if that works out? I don't know. He still got it. I mean, he was better here. In my opinion, what he said about Jimbo, I think he was telling the truth. Basically that he was handcuffed at A&M. He comes over here year one, and you've got a top 8 total offense. Scoring offense was a little bit behind. And then year 2, the scoring, what'd they end up with? 33, 34 points a game, which isn't like, oh my God, highlight reel after highlight reel, tons of offense, tons of scoring. It's not like you're just Omega offense, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah, they actually did make some highlights. Green with some of those runs this year, not so much as throws, but it was a dynamic offense. You remember they led the country most of the year in explosive plays. That's what North Carolina wants to get, and I think they're probably, if Belichick stays the hell out of the way, including his I don't know, what is that chick? Is she, the 21-year-old, whatever is that his fiance? Are they engaged? Is it just girlfriend? Whatever the hell she is. Keep everyone the hell out of the way. Keep them out of the way. Let Petrino do his thing, and I think you're going to cook. I think they're going to have a really good offense. You're not dealing with, these elite players week in and week out in that conference like you are here. Now, again, Belichick's got to stay the hell out of the way. Let Bobby cook, right? But God bless Bobby, though, man. I'm glad that they went 2-10. I stand by what I said. I think even if Pittman were here, you're probably at best looking at 3 wins. I think you are who you were this year. We all missed the mark, every one of us. Even the most negative naysayers did not have Arkansas going 2-10. No one saw this coming. And it is a failure of Hunter Yurachek for not firing Pittman sooner. But it is what it is. And Petrino took over. And listen, man, the defense, I know that this is like, you're not supposed to say this for whatever reason, especially in our Discord. The defense absolutely played better. I don't know if you need like a set of eyes or some glasses. I don't know. The defense certainly played better. They were still just lacking severely on the talent side of things. And, it looks like Neal could end up being, I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick, but Julian Neal could end up being maybe a first-round pick. I don't know. CBS Sports thought he was. Probably going to be a second or third-round guy, but who knows? Outside of that, Quincy Rhodes is coming back, thank God. But, yeah, it is what it is. The year unfolded the way that it did, but I'm glad Bobby tried. You know what? It made sense that he'd be the guy with all the experience behind him. Yeah, I just this is just too. When I read this, I thought, oh my God, the memes are going to be so good. God bless Twitter. God bless the internet, right? Okay. We have fun here. We don't take this is the most blue collar show. We don't take ourselves seriously at all. I don't care. Angel said, sorry, Ty. Wait, sorry for what? Y'all got to tell me what you're sorry about. Tell me what the hell you're talking about. He still got it for the first half of the game. Yeah, they were definitely, second half. Could have been better. The only negative of Bobby's whole tenure was him keeping Broden on the field over Tesla. Yeah, the Tesla thing is just crazy. I know that getting open was a challenge of his while he was here. Heard it through the rumblings when, being at practice, you could see it. He did struggle to break to break away from defensive backs, to create a little separation. He did struggle at that. I mean, you could see it. All of his catches were contested. But also, that didn't matter who was throwing him the ball, by the way. That didn't matter. And one of the notes, Courtney Mims mentioned this, one of the notes that Teslaw said he was given, I don't know if this was the Combine or if it was the Hog Pro Day when the scouts are all there. I don't know. But one of the notes he was given was working on separation skills. And he clearly got better at it. But that guy made some great catches in camps. I saw him. Happened right in front of me. He was definitely talented. It's just, I don't know. It could have just been a scheme fit thing. Sometimes that's just what it is. It's crazy that like half of his catches in the NFL are touchdowns. Well, Pro Hogs are having quite the year though, aren't they? Hunter Henry could be a Pro Bowl tight end. Teslaw is having a banger of a rookie year. And then you got Little, who's every week, they're talking about his pregame kicks, and he's breaking records, and he's doing all this stuff. Like, what a year for Pro Hogs. Pretty cool. Almost came down with the winning touchdown last night. Oh, did he? I must have missed that. I didn't catch the game. I only caught the highlight. Fishman with the with the $5 super chat. Arkansas football is so cursed after Teslaw's great touchdown yesterday. Then we saw the greatest touchdown catch of all time by the Steelers their next drive. Taylor was great until he wasn't. Then he cost us in the game. Oh, that's a good way of looking at Green. That's actually really, really fair. Taylor was great until he wasn't. I've never seen anything like that. I've just never seen a guy just take over games the way that he could with his feet and sometimes with his arm, and then just collapse in the same game, hell, in the same quarter. It's just crazy. Utilization of talent, says Angel. Well, it could be that, and it could just be, you may have gotten a good guy out of Teslaw in terms of your evaluation of him, but he just didn't fit what they were trying to do, on offense. I don't know. Charles Harper, Ty, lack of strong inside game or physical defense presence down low. It will call. Yeah, Charles, it's like you're reading my mind, or you actually listened to this live show. Thank you. That's it. Take that comment and just copy and paste it. That's exactly what's going on with Arkansas basketball. I have such an issue with their interior D, bro. It's so just not there. It's crazy, Tyler. He's doing better than Armstrong. I know. Andrew's a good kid, man. Andrew's I really hope the best for. I hope the best for all of them, but Armstrongs. Those are good people. The Armstrongs are good people. Loved watching him in a Razorback jersey. Loved watching him play. Angel says perimeter defense. Well, their perimeter defense is, it could be a lot worse. I really think that it's just too easy to dribble drive, man. It's too easy to get to the rim. I don't know. The physicality part of the defense is just not there. Actually, Teslaw got thrown a flag for illegal block. Oh, okay. That cost them the game-winning touchdown. Okay. But I honestly don't think it should have been a penalty, but he's a great player. I didn't know that. Like I said, I didn't watch the game. I kind of didn't want to watch football after the Rams got screwed by Seattle. Anyways, yeah. Let's talk about the portal. Huh? We need to talk about the portal. Arkansas got another one into the portal today. I think that was today or yesterday. I don't know. None of you are real. This is fake. I'm actually in the middle of a fever dream right now. Ian Gerfrard, 6'5", 387-pound defensive lineman. The guy that let a 125-pound quarterback drag him 10 yards. He entered the portal. Along with Tavian Wallace, Shaq McRoy, and Keyshawn Davila. Davila was awful. I'm sorry. Sorry. Davila, I don't know. I don't know if it was coaching. He was awful here. I'm not saying he's an awful player. He just didn't work. Tavion Wallace. And I saw Pig Trail Nation posted that this was like a big loss. Is it? I mean, I would like a response on that, and maybe I should have asked them on their tweet. Is it a big loss? I mean, Jaffrard, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everything he did was bad. I'm sure you could find something on tape where he was like, oh, wow, he made a really good play there. And I know he graded pretty good against the run on PFF. He graded like 75 or something. It was pretty good. But his job was to clog gaps, absorb double teams, all that stuff. I mean, he's a big-bodied guy. You saw him get pushed around and just these little guys dragging him. And whether that's, the fact that he just was, I don't know. He just got overpowered sometimes. Now he's got a good, I was looking at his PFF earlier. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? Yeah, he graded out okay. But you can't look at the grades and go, well, he's a great player. His pass rush for an interior defensive tackle was 64.4. He had 8 hurries this year. That's off 463 snaps. Now, for an interior guy, though, that is pretty good. For a guy that size, that's not that bad. I just don't think it's a big loss. When I see a guy get overpowered like that, get dragged by someone who's, I don't know, 1/5 the size of me, I don't know, man. I mean, Ian, you're huge, dude. Like, why did we see you struggle to bring down guys a hell of a lot smaller than you are, and they're dragging you? Look, man, I'm all for a clean wipe. Would I like to have him back? Yeah, sure. But if he's wanting more NIL money, I'm going to be like, bro, you've got to prove it. You got to earn it. What are you talking about? He missed just 15% of his tackles. The problem is he only got credit for 18. So, I mean, we're not talking about a large sample size there. We're not talking about, we're talking about a lot of snaps, nearly 463. He's not a terrible defensive tackle. I mean, I don't know if we're talking about, I don't know. Some things you just can't shake out of what you watch. You just can't unsee certain things, and seeing him it's just really hard to live that down. I'm not saying it's not like oh damn, that sucks. I'd like to have had him back. Sure, I'd take him back. You need depth. And he could be a depth guy. Sure. He's gonna have to earn his trust though, right? He's gonna have to earn his place. He's gonna have to earn that spot. And he could always, remember the portal opens January 2nd. And he could always withdraw his name. I think we're still waiting on. Did David Oakey say he was coming back? I may have missed that. David Oakey, I would like. I think he's got a year of eligibility because he's going to get hit with a medical. Could be wrong. You're going to need to stack up on the defensive line, and that's where the portal. You just can't miss here, man. I mean that's to me that is the difference maker between the teams that were good that became great, and then teams like Arkansas. Like they didn't have anything on the defensive line. Offensive line was actually pretty well secured. Offensive line did a really good job. Again, wish they would have kept Mateos and whatever, but okay, fine. They're going another direction there. But the defensive line last year absolutely was such a sore spot for this defense. I mean, the whole defense was, outside of Neal and off and on Quincy Rhodes. Who talking about grades, he had a lower grade than Ian Jaffrard. He had a grade of 71.5, but his pass rush grade was 75.9, which is actually pretty solid. Seven sacks, 24 hurries by Quincy Rhodes. That's what you're getting back, man. That's what you're getting back out of Quincy Rhodes. Hopefully he doesn't pull some bullshit when that portal opens and, psych, I'm out. Deuces. Hope that doesn't happen. Better not happen. Quincy Rhodes is big getting him back, man. But you're going to need SEC. What do we say here, everyone? What has been the slogan of this show for like 5 years? It's one of my first things. First things we said we were going to turn into a bumper sticker or a t-shirt. What is it? QDM. Quality depth matters, especially on the defensive line. We need to sign Bobby Boucher, says DJ Suckafree. Oh, all right. Don't know if I should have read that out loud. Defensive line never got any penetration at all. Quarterback could sit back there all day. That's not entirely true. I mean, like I just said, Quincy Rhodes was a bit of a problem. Cam Ball honestly had a pretty solid year for an interior guy to have 17 hurries. 3 hits, not bad. Yeah, you'd like to have seen some of those turn into sacks. That was another problem this team had when they could apply pressure. They had a hard time bringing the quarterback down. I don't know how many Arkansas teams over the years we've seen that be a problem, going all the way back to the later Bielema years, obviously the Chad Morris years. I just don't understand why they have struggled to be a better pass rush team consistently. We've seen them have like one great year and then vanish. Got to be good at that. You got to win. You got to win the LOS, baby. You got to win the line of scrimmage. Joe Cool says, I just got here. What I missed? You missed everything, sir. Drake Lindsay stayed at Minnesota. We should have offered him, says Brady G. I don't have any opinions on him. It's like the Kane Archer thing all over again. People are like, just because they're here, you got to offer them. You got to throw an offer. I don't buy that. To me, I'm going to leave that up to the coaching staff. When it comes to a quarterback play, I'm going to leave that up to them. Drake Lindsay's a good quarterback. Good. He was good at Fayetteville High. There's been some great quarterbacks coming out of Fayetteville High, and he's up there. When I was in junior high school, we had the Clark brothers. Yeah. Would love to see Jaffrard back, minus 50 pounds of gut, and 20 pounds of muscle, says Gary Davis. Boy, I feel like he and I might have that in common, Gary. Trenches are important. I couldn't agree more. They are. Hey, man, I want to know, what do you guys what's your plans for Christmas? That's going to be the XP post live question of the day. And for you guys that are here now, tell me, what are your plans for Christmas? I want to know. You traveling? Maybe you're going down to Little Rock, or you're coming up to NWA. You're traveling to, I don't know, Texas. You guys tell me. I want to know what your plans are. Mine aren't really that super exciting. Anytime I get to hang out with the in-laws is always a good time. A whole lot of gaming, says Brady G. God, I love reading that. Hell yeah, dude. I got to play. I haven't got to do anything. I've got this RPG itch. I want to play Divinity Original Sins 2. I've been having an itch. They announced the new Divinity games coming out, which, I'll be 50 by the time it comes out. And that's a sad reality now. That is so scary. That's a sad reality now. When they talk about going into making a movie or a video game, I used to joke around and say, I'll be 50 by the time that comes out. Son of a bitch, that's about to be true. No basketball this week. No Arkansas basketball. Obviously no football. I mean, for Arkansas. But there's, plenty of other games to watch. A lot of stuff. I'm an old prehistoric gamer, says Angel. You'll be 80 when GTA 6 comes out. They've been working on that game. I swear to God, I think my oldest was like a toddler, and she's 13 now. Yeah. I'm getting the new Assassin's Creed game in 5 more games. Hey, awesome. Awesome. I'm cooking ham. Ooh, Angel, I might be coming over, brother. With sweet taters and other sides. God bless America. Yeah, I might be coming over, bro. I might be coming over. I don't know what we're doing, like lunch or something on Christmas Eve. I got my wife pretty nifty. I got her and my dad the same, like a similar. It's the same gift but different. With everyone talking about Expedition 33, might do another run. I'm gonna have to play it again, I guess. I don't know, man. I get that game's gorgeous. I just did not care about. The story was interesting, but very vague where I left off at. I just couldn't see why it was so great. Couldn't see. So again, remember, don't expect another live this week. I probably should have not gone live tonight or the post game on Saturday. I probably shouldn't have done that. It really pushed me. I mean, because after that, I'm not going to lie to you, after that post game, I literally just went to bed. It drained every ounce of energy that I had. Hold on. Maybe I did that. And I feel like I may have played Arc Raiders for like 30 minutes and then went to bed. It was something like that. I know I was not feeling it. Started feeling better Sunday and took the trash out tonight. And I was like, oh, man, I got dizzy. I don't know if I want to do it live tonight. So I'm probably going to end up, because I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm probably going to eat dinner and then, I don't know, I might go to bed. We're watching the It show on HBO. Welcome to Derry. Y'all, that show's crazy. It's crazy. Everyone sleeps on Simpsons Hit and Run. Wait, is that the arcade? Is that the old arcade game? I played that. I don't know if it was called Hit and Run, though. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to watch the replay of Biddy's walk and talks to remember the pain. Oh, all right. Sitting my fat ass at home making pulled pork. Oh, God dang, y'all are making me so hungry. Ty, I'm impressed with the players he's been able to keep in the small number of players that haven't entered the portal so far. In your opinion, what position would you spend the most money on? I love that question because it's real easy for me. Like, well, first off, you're going, if you're talking about spending the most money, you're going to spend a shit ton of money on your quarterback room. You're going to spend a ton of money on those skill position guys. But at the end of the day, I'm inside out. That's just how I am. I'm old school. Maybe that's not the way you're supposed to do it anymore. I want elite talent on that defensive line. That's what I'm shooting for. I want potential top 3 round picks at both my end spots, in your interior, your forefront. I want that whole defensive line to just be monsters because a great defensive line can do wonders for a football team. Can do wonders. Now, without an offensive line, you don't have an offense. But without a defensive line, I mean, you're susceptible at everything. Against the run, against the pass. And as we've seen, Arkansas, I mean, why are they not better at getting after the quarterback? Why do I feel like it's been forever? You had clutch guys like Jake Beckett. You remember Chris Smith? Remember how good he was? May he rest in peace. Trey Flowers, Dietrich Wise, who was really just a glue, who was a depth rotating piece, is really what Dietrich Wise was. And he had a good NFL career. Right next to Flowers. Where are those guys? Jamal Anderson, one of my favorite Razorbacks of all time. Mr. 2-star tight end out of who gives a hell. And becomes a first-round draft prospect. And he gets drafted to the top 10 to the Falcons. I mean, what a monster that guy was here. It was Atlanta, right? Is that the Fever? Was I wrong? Is that the Fever talk? It was Atlanta, I'm pretty sure. One of my favorite Razorbacks, man. Why are we not seeing that? Rhodes was good last year. He was really good. He just wasn't great. And to be fair, he didn't have help. That's where I'd put all my money. If I were Jerry Jones, I'd be like, all right, bro, let's get the defensive line rolling. I'm gonna back the truck up full of money and get the 4 best. And then I'm gonna behind them, they're gonna be guys that are also potential draft picks. We're gonna just stack up the defensive line. That's what we're gonna do. Absolute, just the filthiest, nastiest, shit talkingest, backing it up caliber players on the defense line. That's what I'm looking for. Those just, oh man, they're sons of bitches. Oh, I hate those. I remember thinking about Ole Miss when they had that last year, when they had that just crazy talented front four that they had, the draft picks, just how much better Ole Miss was overnight. That defense line was incredible. It was so good. Think about some of the best Alabama defenses, right? That's what I want. That's all I want. That's where I'd put my money. Yeah, I'd want to go grab, the top quarterback, all that. But, yeah. I noticed every team's highlight reels 2025 included their Arkansas game. They're always somebody else's highlight reel, aren't they? Trenches. I expected CSP to fix trenches, but no. Yeah, I know. That was probably the biggest surprise, wasn't it, of his time here. They just couldn't do it. No, Ty, look it up. Original Xbox and PS2. Wait, hold on. What was? Again, give me specifics. What are you talking about? What was original Xbox and PS2? What do you mean Bloodline? What are you talking about? What's the XP question? Yeah, it was you need a hottie toddy. You're right. I've actually heard those are really good when you have the flu or a head cold. Saw that on an episode of I did not know what the hell that was until I saw an episode of, I think it was Home Improvement. No. It's one of those shows. They were talking about a hottie toddy. I was like, wait a minute, that's a thing? It has alcohol in it, doesn't it? Isn't it like a bourbon? You would love it. Oh, you're talking about the game, the Simpsons Hit and Run. Okay, my bad. There was a Simpsons game on arcade that was fantastic. It was so fun. Texas Tech has proved defensive line is where you spend the money. Absolutely. I've been saying that since NIL became a thing. Oh yeah, Phylon was a really good player. Carlos Hall was a really good player. Those are names I haven't thought of in a while. The Iron Tusk defense is what we need. Yeah. No, again, John, the question was, what are you doing for Christmas? That's it. That's it. That's how we're going to end this show, man. I do appreciate all you guys. We got another show before the New Year's, but I do want to say to you guys, and you're going to hear me repeat this. This year was really special. Thank God for my wife, her patience with this. She knows that this is not a typical 9 to 5. This is not a 9 to 5 gig. 8 to 4, 7 to 3, 6 to 2, 5. I've had them all. I've had all those jobs. That's not what this is. It's a very hands-on kind of job, and you guys help make it that much more special, right? And I really do appreciate all your support. Patreon supporters, I cannot tell you guys, like, bro, I really don't know where this would be at without you guys. Now, Discord, Tusk Talk Discord is always a lot of fun. This time of year, it gets really quiet in there. We're going to have days where there's like 10 things said. I mean, it's just the nature of it. I've been doing this a while. It's getting deader and deader lately, but there is still in Patreon a lot of good information. And one of the things that you're going to see in Patreon, and I said there was going to be an announcement. There was going to be an announcement. I said this in Patreon chat. I may save it because it's exclusive to Patreon supporters. It's not insider Razorback stuff. It's just something to Patreon people. But we may wait on that. But again, I do appreciate each and every one of you. We've had a couple. We had a new person join legendary status, which is great. We had one. That's our first new legendary status member. I think in the last. I'm talking brand new, right? In the last, month or two. So that was great. I feel like I need to pull this up because otherwise I don't know the actual number. The actual Patreon number of folks, we're at 166 members. Half of those are paid members. The other half need to come over. They need to sign up and become paid members, join a tier. And then Discord has exclusive. We have a Portal Watch, Portal Target, and Portal Commit page, which is a breakdown of their PFF, a little bit of the recruiting background, and their stats, and whatever other kind of information. There's deeper information in there than you're going to get most places, all bundled up in one place. And it's going to give you a better, clearer image of what this team's going to look like as far as from the portal's perspective going into 2026. We're really going into spring camp. So, but this year is not made possible without you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really hope you guys, maybe the year was a little rough. It was a mixed year for me. But it was as far as what we're doing here on the show, it was a great year. And it was a great year. Shout out to Travis Ford, owns and operates Direct Service Overhead. He also helps with the shows, typically on Wednesday nights. Tim Neal, who's really been at times I feel like he's like the host on Monday Night Lights. That's like his thing. And he's done such a great job. Both those guys have. They bring a little extra spice to Tusk Talk with Ty, and I'm so glad that I brought them on board. And it was Travis's idea. When we were doing the SEC thing, the SEC podcast, he was like, "Why don't we just join these two?" And I was like, "You know what? That's a good idea, Travis." And that guy is he's one of those. There are just certain people in the world. I'm married to one of them, but I know two people, well, maybe three, that are just doers. They just do things. And Travis is a doer. And he's helped this channel. He helped build, some of the overlays, the very graphic you're looking on the screen, the thumbnails. He's been just terrific, along with giving his little 10 cents or 2 cents here on the channel. Sometimes it's a hot topic and people agree with him, and sometimes they don't, but he does a good job of conveying his thoughts and feelings on the Razorbacks. The same with Tim. They both just bring something special to this, and I'm really, really glad that they joined, and I'm thankful for every one of you guys. I really am. I don't just say that. I've been doing this for a while, and if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. I mean, just straight up. I'm a damn proud Arkansan. Love that I'm from Fayetteville. Love that I'm from Arkansas, and I love talking about the Razorbacks, man. So. We're not done. I'm hoping we should have at least another live, at least one more live before the New Year's. Trying to figure something out. But by the way, shout out to Courtney Mims, who's been on this channel off and on. She's in our Discord. I need to bring Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16, but he was on last year during the basketball season. Going to try and bring him on. Mason Choate. I know I'm forgetting somebody. War Machine, we did a special Patreon interview with War Machine. If you guys haven't watched that yet, all you got to be is a $4 donor to go watch that video. So shout out to all those people, everyone who had anything to do with helping this show grow. I appreciate every one of you, and that includes you as well in the audience. All right, that's it. I'm done. Go play your video games. Have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys hopefully sooner than later. All right. Until next time, you guys be good.
For me. Silverfield.